We have been just incredibly honored by the chance to work with the National Jazz Museum in Harlem. We had one previous Harlem Speaks series, and they've been here for some music too. Today is a speaking time. Introducing the program, Danny Mixon is the artist from the community as a pianist and band leader, and I'm hearing how much that's known, but serving as the interviewer and the lead of today's program from the National Jazz Museum in Harlem is Loren Schoenberg.
Pardon my mask, but you can hear through it, yes? Yes. Okay, thank you. My name is Loren Schoenberg. I'm the Senior Scholar at the National Jazz Museum. And the only thing I can say is that, first of all, I'm just honored to be here. I've been here before. It's an honor just to be talking to you all. And I have to say, by looking out in the audience, I see some people I remember from, what? A little louder. It's not clear. A little louder? Okay. Don't encourage me. I'm a ham, which is odd because I'm Jewish, but nonetheless. Anyway. My name is Loren Schoenberg. I'm the Senior Scholar at the National Jazz Museum in Harlem, and I'd like to say I'm thrilled to be here again. It's an honor to be here. And the Jazz Museum in Harlem is over 20 years old, and that's pertinent to our interview today, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. We're a Smithsonian affiliate. My artistic directors are Christian McBride and John Batiste. We have a wonderful board, and we do things all the time in the community. And as I look out in the audience here, I see some friends I haven't seen in a long time who used to come up to our old home on 126th Street. Right now, we're at 129th and Lenox. And long story short, and I hope I don't embarrass you with the age thing here, but
sorry.
I just turned 65. And thank you. And I know someone's going to tell me you have shoes older than me. But nonetheless, when I was coming up, I knew of Danny Mixon. When I moved to New York almost 50 years ago to be a jazz musician, I already knew who Danny Mixon was. And so today we're going to hear from a great veteran and someone who has played with so many great people and is still playing all the time. Because when I asked Mr. Mixon, what's the secret of the Fountain of Youth? And you said playing all the time. So enough about me. I'm going to sit down now and interview this giant of American music, Mr. Danny Mixon.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. This is a privilege for me to have a chance to be around you and let you know some history that I've achieved in the world of jazz and the world period.
That's right.
You know, I've been very fortunate. At the beginning of my career as being a person that loved entertaining, that's one of my things. I come out of the dancing school of Ruth Williams. Yeah. God bless her. And Andy Kirk was the musical director, and his wife, Mary Kirk, was the pianist. And she was a phenomenal woman that introduced me to the music by dance, okay? And I said that to say this, I started tap dancing at 3. And I loved it. My sister and I was a dance team called the Showstoppers. And we did do that. And at the same token, that this woman was amazing, introducing me to a world that I thought I would never get into it musically, because I love dance so much. So what had happened, when it dawned on me, you know, our concert was at Carnegie Hall. Every year, June 14th was Carnegie Hall. Now, how you take a bunch of black children, tap dancers at Carnegie Hall for years? I love Carnegie Hall. I love the wood dancing on it. I look forward to it every year. And then I got, kind of an attitude when she changed up and went to Lincoln Center. What? Lincoln Center. You know, because I was in love with Carnegie Hall, you know, coming from 3, and then I'm about 14, 15, and now you're talking Lincoln Center. You know, even though it was brand new, there was something about Carnegie Hall was special. But anyway, I got used to it, the Lincoln Center. But it dawned on me as I got older, how did this woman pull this off? You know what I mean? And she was an amazing choreographer, as well as how did she get these people to rent out a hall to a black woman? You know, it was amazing. And my, as I got older, she had called me up as I went into being a musician to play for the recitals. I couldn't believe this. Like, what kind of dream is this? I started as a tap dancer, and now she's calling me to play the recitals. It was awesome. And one of the greatest choreographers, Laura Williams. I love her to death. And she was amazing after Miss Williams had passed away, taking on that responsibility. But it was an honor how my life went from being a dancer, and then I went to the piano. So what had happened was, my people come from 415 West 145th Street and Convent Avenue. And so anyway, my mother's piano was there in the house. And so when we come from dancing school, we stop at grandma's. And at grandma's had the piano. So, you know, moms and grandma would be in the kitchen. So I'm in the living room, you know, I'm kind of bored. So I got on the piano, you know, bling, bling, bling. They don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so one day, you know, my grandmother and grandfather decided, let's give this boy some lessons. And my sister, you know, because, you know, we'll see where. My sister was a better reader than I was. But anyway, we took lessons, and then she slowly dropped out. And my teacher was Mr. Cecil. I never knew his last name, but he worked in one of the churches up here in Harlem. Come teach me in a shirt and tie. You understand? You know, the presentation in a shirt and tie. And I started learning the fundamentals of the piano. So as I go along, my grandfather, God bless him, instrumental in my jazz life because, you know, he knew that I was getting bored with the chatter in the kitchen with grandma and mom. So he would, you know, pull out albums, Dizzy on the Riviera, and, you know, the guy that's saying, "Old Black Magic got me in this."
Billy Daniel.
Huh?
Billy Daniel.
The Billy Daniels, yeah. And he put these albums on my lap and playing for this is Sunday Stitt. So anyway, I was blessed one day, and he took it upon himself to take me to the Apollo Theater. Now I was going to the Apollo Theater, mind you, because my grandmother loved the gospel shows. Boy, I seen some stuff. And I was happy to go because it was the weekend, it was Friday, we just got out of school, and my grandmother called, how'd the kids, and my mother would say, I don't know. When I'd be listening, when she said there's a go, I was already dressed at the door, you know? But anyway, so my grandmother started taking us to the gospel show, Blind Boys from Mississippi, oh man. And a host of others, you know, and I really enjoyed it, and I learned how to clap, you know, the rhythm of the gospel, you know, very important in my career, very important. So still, I didn't know what I'm gonna do, because I love dance, and now I'm taking piano. So what had happened was, Grandpa said, well, he's going all the gospel, let me take him to a jazz show. Oh my God. At the Apollo, Stanley Turrentine, Sonny Stitt, Horace Silver, Sarah Vaughan. I said, what? I mean, I was like, you know, I was like this the whole time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, you know. And the one that, you know, I saw with Sonny Stitt and Gene Ammons, that was in the dueling, you know what I mean? And it was Stanley Turrentine, oh my God. So I was exposed, you know, and that's, I'm grateful for them exposing me to the music, and I was already in dance, you know, the way they did it, you know. And there was no pushing, you know, you got to and all that, you know. It was done with, you know, with love, you know, that this is out there to understand and appreciate, you know. And now and then my grandfather would hear like Ella Fitzgerald on the radio. We'd be in the kitchen, he said, oh, that's one of the greats. I never could figure that out. We said, one of the greats. You know, and then somebody else, that's one of the greats. I said, what are you talking about? I understand now, you know. And we had so many greats, and we have so many greats today. And so in my life, moving on in my story, I was in between, you know, the dance and everything. I was going to junior high school, which I joined the all-borough orchestra. I used to play trombone, you know. And so I got into the all-borough orchestra of Brooklyn, and, you know, I played fourth chair with a lot of other young people, and so on the weekend, so I started, you know, getting on the RIT. Remember that one called
The IRT, the subway.
Subway, you know, and going out to by Erasmus Hall out that way to be in the orchestra, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, being the trombone to getting along too much, you know, because I'm gonna show you what happens. So, I can't get no girlfriends with that. Yeah, you know, and it was, you know, wait a minute. So I said, well, listen, you know what else you could do? Play the piano. So in junior high school, so I started playing the piano, and the girls started coming around the piano. I said, now that's what we're talking about here, you know. But anyway, I got away from the trombone and started concentrating more on the piano.
Hey, Danny, I have a question for you. You came from this nurturing family, people just showing you what was out there, as you said, not pushing. Could you tell us about your parents?
But
Your folks?
my folks,
Could you introduce us to them?
well, my folks, we're from Sumter, South Carolina, you know, and my folks was pretty instrumental in doing a lot of things. My grandfather was Hank Hankerson. He used to live on 127th Street between Lenox and Fifth. He had a garage there. Yeah. And he fixed a lot of people's cars that you would know. And my grandmother was like a person that just wanted just to be motherly, you know. My mother was the only child. My mother danced and played the piano. So I get my talent from my mother.
What was her name?
Dorothy Mixon, Mixon, you know. Before that, she was Dorothy Hankinson, you know. And my grandfather was from Baltimore, and he used to be a hoofer, you know. So,
How did your mom wind up in showbiz?
well, my mother was going to Ruth Williams.
Ah. You mentioned Ruth Williams, and there was this response. But for people watching this interview in our archive many years from now, could you tell us about who was Ruth Williams? What did she do? Why did so many people just warm up when you said her name?
Well, you know, because she was, now this is what I found out afterwards. She was a social worker. Would you believe that? a social worker on top of teaching and running the dancing school. And I remember her going to certain parents, if the kid don't look right when they came in there, and pull them to the side, what is this? Blah, blah, boom, boom, boom. And I'm saying, and then come to find out she was a social worker. She was maintaining that job and teaching us black children how to tap dance, an art form, you know? And so she was a very important woman in Harlem that needed, that need to be known that she did a lot in Harlem. And there's no way in the world I can never figure out how she got us to go for 10 years to Carnegie Hall.
You know, it sounds like something that, frankly, at the Jazz Museum that we should look into and try and do a documentary and talk to people who remember her. That's one of the great things about these interviews, because we learn so much about these. Where was her studio?
On 125th Street, upstairs. That's right. That's right. They know.
Yeah.
You know. And the lady that passed away not too long ago, Sweet Georgia Brown, she used to tap dancing at Ruth Williams. Yes, Sweet Georgia Brown. Yeah.
You mentioned your sister, and she was a better reader than you.
Yeah, she was a better reader than me.
Tell us about your sister.
Yeah, she.
Please.
Very, very, very pretty young lady, looked just like my mother. And my mother used to put white bows behind her head. You know, we have that school. You understand what I'm saying? My sister was very bright in school, and when she focused on something, she can really, get it done. She be. I'll be like maybe an hour doing my homework. She finished in 20 minutes, that kind of. And she going downstairs playing. I'm mad. I can't get it right. She's downstairs, But my sister was very articulate, in anything she perceived, So I was blessed to have her in my life, And so my family has been very supportive in me. And my mother told me quickly that we were walking down 125th Street on the side of the Apollo. And at that time, I was about 5, 6 years old, and Billie Holiday was just coming out of After Hour joint. And she said, "Oh, that's a beautiful baby you have, blah, blah, blah." She said, "Can I hold him?" And my mother said, "Yes, you can," because she, that was her idol. Yes, you can. She said, Billie Holiday walked me down the block for 2 blocks to the point that my mother said, "Can I have my baby back?" So I've been having a very spiritual life, moving on from not knowing, Andy Kirk, who was our band leader for our recitals, and his wife, Mary Kirk, was the pianist for all the lessons. And what happened, I'd be tap dancing sometime during my lesson, and then I lean over at Mary to watch her fingers and what she doing. Get back to and so I was really drawn into in both angles. Now, this is what I want to let you know. What made me dance so good and so hard was the music. So I wind up going to the strongest force. The better the music, the better I'm gonna perform. So.
When did the switch come to, like, this is what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a piano player?
What happened was I was raised after being in Harlem. My mother moved to Brooklyn, Fort Greene Project. So at the time, Lil Anthony and the Imperials was my idol. So Lil Anthony's mother and my mother were friends. So I'm coming out the store with my mother, and she sees Lil Anthony's mother. And she said, oh, well, yeah, how the kids doing? Oh, boom, 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 boom. They doing all still in music. I don't know what I'm going to do with him going to high school. You know, what did he do? He danced. He used to play trombone, but he danced. She said, let him audition for performing arts. And I went and auditioned for performing arts and got in as a dancer. Studied ballet, modern dancing, Indian dancing. And that's what I did. Now listen, quickly. I went in there to audition, ladies and gentlemen. And when I went in there, I see people going, making moves like this and running around the pole. And I saw guys with tights on. I said, what the hell is this? I'm coming in there auditioning with tap shoes, you understand? I couldn't believe, what is this? I'm in the wrong place. Wait a minute. I'm looking for do my tap dancing thing. And with tights, and then people running leaps around the pole for an audition. I don't do that kind of routine, you know? So I went in there and do my time step and everything, and then I leaped up in the air and touched my toes. That got me in.
Ah.
But the hard work was still ahead because they said, you do not have a dancer's body. Oh, really? My. So we got to get you into a dancer's body. Then I had to go buy a dance belt, and I had to buy black tights, and then, hey! I'm coming from the project. What's up? Hey, whoa. I come from Harlem. Tap, tap, tap. No. Well, this was a hell of a change for me. So anyway, what had happened was still piano in my head. So when we had live, I hate to say it, but a live person playing piano, no recording,
Right.
for the dance classes, right? So what had happened was, when the guy did not show up, I asked the dance instructor, can I play piano for the class? And I did. They allowed me to do that. So anyway, what had happened was, I started hanging out with the musicians at performing arts more than the dancers, So, and things progressed, At that time, I looked up to two people that I know three, a dancer named John Parks, Glenn Turman, the actor, and Ben Vereen. Yeah, there was 2 grades in front of me, so I looked up to them. And then when Ben Vereen went into Jesus Christ Superstar, I said, whoa, wait a minute, And Vanette Carroll, that was teaching drama there, she always looked at me and gave me some good advice of, how to deal with this, And so anyway, when I leave the project to go to performing arts, everybody started calling me Twinkle Toes. I didn't like that. So I said, you call me Butch or something, any one of them hard names, Twinkle Toes. So anyway, it was kind of rough. Every time I have my little dance bag and they see me with this dance bag, he gonna Twinkle Toes. Oh boy. So I had to go through that. And what had happened was things in my life was changing real fast, and there was some disruption in my household, and I started leaning more towards the piano since there was a piano provided for me. To the point that my mother would have her little parties on the weekend, and they'd wake me up in the middle of the night to play Misty. And her friend at the time, man, Danny could knock out a tune, man. You gotta hear this kid. He can knock out a tune. They wake me up 12 o'clock at night to come out and play. So listen, I guess I was on a little gig, huh? Yeah. But I would do that from time to time. And moving on, I started finding out there was musicians that I could hang with in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn on Bridge Street. And with a rehearsal studio downstairs, right there in Bridge Street, and I would go down there, and a lot of older cats that was there, and they let me sit in. A guy named, I'll never forget his name, Sam Brown, from New Orleans. He had a big band, and so through Sam, he hired me to go to Atlantic City, and I was 18 years old. And I was working behind Patty the Bells and the Bluebells. You know, I was playing an organ, because I do play Hammond organ, ladies and gentlemen, I do. And so anyway, I went to Atlantic City, and after that, you know, I started, you know, wanting to be on my own, be my own person, my own man. And it led me to do other things. And I started my road, climbing up the ladder, you know. And from Atlantic City, a gentleman I must put in my story, Mr. Chris White, bassist.
Oh.
He was the bassist for Dizzy Gillespie for many, many years. Was instrumental in my life, me paying for my lessons with famous pianists that played with Dad Jones. Roland Hanna. Sir Roland Hanna. He paid for my books and paid for my piano lessons.
Wow.
You know? Oh, what an awesome man. He saw something in me, man, and then not only that, he passed me down to other musicians. Jimmy Owens, he passed me down to, you know, and a host of his friends that he was working with. You got to hide this young guy, you know. So God bless him, you know, he gave me a life, you know, that I could study with. And they had Muse, a place called Muse on Lincoln Place in Brooklyn, that the instructors was Cedar Walton.
Wow.
You know, and who we mentioned on bass earlier? Reggie Workman.
Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie Workman. You know, people like that. And who was in charge of it was Bill Barron, that plays an incredible saxophone player, who was the brother of Kenny Barron, pianist. And they would have series of concerts there. And Bill Barron would give me a concert with my own trio. And I got a write-up one time from the New York Times, Young Danny Mixon Trio, you know. And so every 3 months, I know I would have a concert with my trio. I also I started working 6 nights a week with Lyle Atkinson and Scobie Stroman, drummer. Scobie was also a tap dancer at one time. And who's to come in there and check out the music? Wynton Kelly. Man, I'm at the piano like shaking like a mother. Wynton Kelly listening to me. I was nervous. So I went over to Wynton and said, listen, Wynton, I would like to study with you. Oh man, just keep playing the piano. Just keep playing the piano. I said, okay. Wynton and I, as I kept going in my career, we became very good friends. He started coming to Muse to see me perform with my trio, you know? So I was blessed in my journey, you know. Now, mind you, I'm working 6 nights, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, everything I got, everything you hear from me, everything I played, whatever you think pianistically, how I play, I got it because I was working 6 nights a week. They don't have that no more.
That's right.
Okay? This was form of my development. Okay? And that's what the club dates were. 6 or 4 nights, no less than 3. And we don't have that anymore.
No, not at all.
You know, I miss, you know, Showman's, because I did a lot of trio organ situations at Showman. my development. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lot of things that you're gonna learn in school, but the real school is in the street. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You're looking at it. You're looking at it. I'm staying up on it. You know? Because they can't, you know, you got to learn that with an audience, maybe you have a list of songs, bing, 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 bing. After the first song, you realize the second song ain't going to work with this audience. You know what I'm saying? So you got to change gear and be able to give the people something they can relate to. You know? They don't teach you that in school. You understand? You know, all my upbringing, you see me with a shirt and tie on today, that's how I go to work. Hello. You understand? I don't even see no cutout jeans and I got expensive jeans and cut heel. You know, no. This is a show business. You understand what I mean? Presentation is very important. You know, I'm not even going to wear a suit with no sneakers to no job. You understand? Because that's not appropriate. You know? So, you know, everybody want to alternate what is traditional. You know, you can do that when you finish your job. You can wear anything you want. But going to the job requires A, B, C, D, and E. That's important, you know. Everybody want to make some changes, but the changes are not appropriate to what is designed from the get-go, you know? And I get that from all the older men that I've been around, you know, that, you know, no matter what, you know, you got to be clean on the gig, you know? And so that is what happens, you know, that has to be taught with our young musicians. You know what I mean? I don't care if you got $300 dungarees on, jeans or whatever you need. No, they ain't got nothing to do with the situation. And Ruth Williams said, the performer never supposed to look like the audience. You hear what I said? You hear what I say? I got that from her. You understand? So these are the things I was taught, you know? And nobody's opening their mouth to these young people because everybody's scared. You understand? And it's sad, and it never was that way. A guy come in, want to sit in. I'm going to tell you the way that I was raised. Come in, sit in. Oh, yeah, the guy said, oh, yeah, come on, sit in. Do you know such and such a tune? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Come to find out he didn't know that. When he finished, they said, don't you ever come in here again like that. You go home and learn that tune, and then you come back here and let me hear what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? We don't have that no more. You know, the thing that bothers me the most is that you got to, okay, you get your education musically, what you got to get. But there's a different school out here that's not yet has been presented, that a school how to deal with the situation of jobs, you know? Mm-hmm. And I teach at the new school, the vocal blues ensemble, you know? And I'm very honest, I've been there for 10 years. The first day of school, ladies and gentlemen, I come like this. Mm-hmm. The first day. You understand? Presentation. After that, I wear my regular school clothes, whatever, probably, you know, the sweater and the vest or whatever may be the case. But I'm like this. You know? I want to make sure you understand the impression that I'm putting on you. I'm not coming in with dungarees and all that, and jeans, and, you know, I'm your teacher, I'm your professor. Get out of here. Nah. No. And not only that, we have a recital every year. And usually I have a couple of male singers and mostly women. Mm-hmm. And I tell them from the second day, when we had the recital, you know, put your little monies together because I want you to be wearing the appropriate outfit.
Yes.
I don't want you coming here and looking like Hoochie Mama. We ain't selling hoochie mama. I tell them. You understand? No. Start putting your money together, and dress appropriately, and something below the knees, you know what I'm saying? So one girl's like, can I wear boots? No. No boots. Get them the regular women's shoes. I don't care if it's flats. You understand? We ain't selling that. We selling your talent. We ain't selling you looking like somebody off the block. And I tell them also, when you go for auditions, you don't wear what you think you're supposed to wear. Wear a nice two-piece outfit. You understand what I'm saying? When you go for a gig to a club, and you're female, wear a two-piece, something, appropriate. You come in there looking at hoochie mom, and it's over. It's over. They're gonna run over you. You know what I mean? So this is something I teach. They didn't tell me to teach it. Something I share with my young people. I tell the guys, wear appropriate, a round collar shirt and a blazer jacket like he has on, and a pair of pants. You understand? And you go for the job. You know what I mean? You don't go in there and cut up jeans and all that, jacket all have holes in it. No. You understand? You act like you begging. I come from the school, you better look like money if you want to get some money. You know what I'm saying? So this is the situation that at hand, I believe need another school for that situation. You know what I mean? I'd like to talk to you about that at some point.
Yeah.
Really. And it should be a school for young people in the rhythm section, which is piano, bass, and drums, how to accompany a singer. They don't know how to do that. Wait a minute. And they don't know no songs. They don't know no tunes. The young people do not know that, Bye Bye Blackbird and songs like that. Those are the songs, it was a category of songs, a Bible of songs, I call it, that you have to learn so you can be able to work on any gig. That's right. Everybody pulling out an iPad and all. Whoa. That's not the way it's done. You understand? A Bible says of songs that I mentioned, and Misty and all that, you can do all types of weddings and cocktail sips, and you know what I mean? They don't have that, and you don't go on the gig. I don't care if you genius number 9, 10, 20. You don't go on the gig and play a bunch of original songs.
Right.
Nobody don't know you. Nobody know you. And you gonna go play all you mean, like I'm such a genius. Listen to this, bam, this is that. No, you got to connect with people.
Right.
And I tell my students, if you want to do that kind of thing, you give the people first 2, 3 numbers and get them settled into boom, da, boom, da, bing, bing, bing. And they say, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you a song that I wrote, and I hope that you like it. It's one of my originals. Bam, drop it. That's it for the set.
That's
Don't
right.
do no more after that. But it's the way how you present it.
Yes.
But you don't go in there, because you scholar this and scholar that, and and do that to people, because you're playing for the public. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I have another pet peeve.
No.
Is that I believe in my heart that all children from this high on up should learn the blues scale. Hold this. Hold it.
There's a piano here.
And ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the blues scale in your life, all your life. That's the scale. You have heard them notes all your life. And listen, in the cotton fields, all that. Church, all that. And it's a scale. Just like you hear a scale go, that's a scale. There's such a thing called the blues scale. And it's like this again. Now see that when I would the I'm only improvising on the scale and the notes. No other notes. And that's what I truly believe our young kids need. I'm saying from here on up, to have that ability to know that scale. You know, to change the climate of how they think chord-wise and melodically. Because you have heard that all your life. And that comes from the blues scale. So how I like to teach is to teach from where you are already and heard it all your life, but you cannot identify what it is. You know, that's my way of teaching piano anyway. You know, so I'm looking at, my dream is to see that happen. That the blues scale come up front and have this in their psyche, you know. But I've been very fortunate, you know, at this time in my life to been able to keep working. I have a wonderful partner that I work with a lot, and she's here. Antoinette Montague, please stand up.
One of the great singers right here, and a lot more too.
And when I realized all the years that I've been in this business doing what I'm doing, you know, somebody that likes to entertain like I like to entertain. I said, I got a partner here, you know, she like to make the people, I like to make them jump too. Let's make them jump, you know. Not only that, the other part is I do, you know, have several bands, and organ trio and quartet, and which I have saxophone, you know. But then, you know, when I want to do something where it's going to be showful, like a show, I call my partner, Miss Antoinette Montague, who is jazz woman to the rescue. Oh yeah. She does a lot for this music and musicians, and very supportive, and always trying to pull people together, and that you know, to make it work. You know what I mean? Some kind of way. You know, that energy I really appreciate there. You know, and at this point, I'd like to just say, you know, I'm very honored to be here to speak to you. And thank you for inviting me, because I have several names in the business. Some people call me Champ. Some people call me Don't Mix Me Up. Melvin Sparks used to call me Meon, you know. But the thing that I'm happy about in my life, that August 19th, I will be 75 years old. You know, my father, Frank Foster, used to call me the baby boy. So one day I said, hey, Pop, I'm 65 years old. He said, I don't care, you're still a baby boy. Oh, boy. But anyway, I've you know, I like to mention him in my life as my college education in music.
This is Frank Foster.
Foster, a genius, bar none. And he taught me a lot. Matter of fact, I have arrangements where he has given me where the arrangements is a piano part with the orchestration in the piano.
Oh, geez. Oh.
I'm doing what everybody doing, and plus my part.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nothing like it, you know. And he took me around the world. Listen, I've been to Japan. I've been to Berlin. I was in Berlin when the wall was up. You understand? And I was there with Pharoah Sanders. I'll never forget, you know. My hotel was looking at the wall. And I stood up and I'm looking and I started crying. Because the people, if they climb the wall, they're going to kill them. So what is this? Okay, you know, what kind of life is this, you know? With Charles Mingus, you know, I've been to Norway, you know, and I've been down to Italy, Torino,
Italy.
Italy is where all the upright basses are made, you know, beautiful, you know. I've had opportunity to go around the world many, many times through Frank Foster and Charles Mingus, you know, Yusuf Lateef, you know.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Again, we're recording this for the archives, and this has been just like a wonderful solo piano performance. I mean, not many people can do that. I do a lot of interviews, and this is just absolutely fascinating. That's why I didn't say anything, because I don't want to get in the way. But just one question, and this isn't so much for the folks here. This is for someone looking at this interview 50 years from now, 100 years from now, and they will be. It's a big question, but here it is anyway. Can you explain what Harlem was, what Harlem is to you, for somebody from a million miles away who'd never here, didn't live it like the people in this room? What's Harlem? What does it mean to you?
Harlem is a spiritual place that was embedded by people that really put their energy in it. It's an energy you cannot get rid of. I don't care how many condos and whatever they built. You understand what I'm saying? That energy cannot be moved. I guarantee you. You understand? And the people that, like my grandmother and people in your generation that been here, they planted something that nobody understand. I don't want to understand. They knew what they were doing. You understand? When they embedded a certain feeling. It's a feeling. It's a soul. You understand? It's a soul. I ain't talking about Soul Train. But there's a soul that runs, a current runs through this that cannot be denied and you can't erase it. You understand? Because I walk with it every day. I walk with it every day. And I'm born at Sydenham Hospital. I made it out before they turned it into Sydenham Hospital, baby. You understand? So every time I get off the train in Harlem, I get that first rush. I'm not kidding. You know what I mean? The A train, you understand? I got a rush. This is and I question myself, why I keep in this a rush like that? Because I had to realize this is something embedded in here that nobody can take away, nobody can change. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if you go anywhere in the world as a musician, from my experience, and they say, where you from? I'm from Harlem. Oh! There's gonna be that kind of reaction. Oh, this is a bad boy here. This is a bad boy here now. I ain't talking about, you know, in the streets, and I'm doing, as a musician. That's a bad boy, man. You understand what I'm saying? You drop Harlem, man. Everybody pay attention. You understand? So the answer to your question is, it will always be that kind of situation that you can't see it, but you can feel it. and it will remain here because the ancestors put something here. They did not tell what it was, but they were all together in doing it with one creation. That's my opinion.
Thank you. I remember watching an interview with Duke Ellington, and he said people talk this about Harlem, this about him. He said there are more churches in Harlem per capita at that point than anywhere else in the United States. That's not the first thing that comes to people's mind.
No.
You saw, you mentioned you're 75 years old. So you were born into one Harlem, and then Harlem has changed over the years. And what about I see that we only have about 10 minutes left. What about the leaders on the streets here? What about someone like Malcolm X? And what about someone like Charlie Rangel? And all these people who have, in different ways, and Adam Clayton Powell, of course, you know, that were alive when you were born and you lived through. Did they intersect with the music? Did they intersect with the culture that you were so much part of?
Oh, yes, definitely. I used to play for Rango many, many times, and Antoinette and I have performed for Rango many, many times. And every time he see me, and Dinkins, play the A-Train. Every time. I kept a job playing the A-Train.
Play the A-Train.
Yeah. But through when I look back on some of those people that you've mentioned, you know, it's part of the culture of the struggle. You know, we in the struggle now. Jazz is struggling. Everybody, there's a struggle, because everybody's music is out there pumping and making money and everything, but jazz, everybody is scared. We didn't do nothing to nobody, but they're scared of, because jazz is a thinking music. They don't want you to think. You understand what I mean? They don't want you to really feel with the honest vibe that's going on that jazz gives. You know what I'm saying? You really have to be open. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you got young people in your household, if you got any kind of album, tell them you want to sit them down for 10 minutes. Introduce them to Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, whatever you got. And let them know this is part of their heritage. This is part of their culture. If they do nothing else, but let them know this is where you come from. You know, we have to do that. We're not on TV. We're not, God bless Johnny Carson. He used to have at least Earl Garner on TV. You understand what I'm saying? He was the only one that would, in perspective of having some jazz on there.
That's right.
We don't have nobody want to back up our situation like that. We need to do that. You need to write into them. Say, listen, what about the jazz? I want to see some live jazz. I don't care if it's big band, quartet, jazz singer, whatever. We got to make a movement. It's got to be a movement. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not being represented in that context.
Yeah.
And it's time. Everybody else got a flag up. Here I am. Come on, man. We need to do the same thing that, we need to have some more jazz in our curriculum in the schools. Okay?
And put music and instruments back in the schools.
Absolutely.
Because they don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing when they did that. Trust me. They did. You understand? Because after, when that transition, all of a sudden, I get out of school, I heard a guy. I said, what's the matter with you? I don't have an instrument. Okay. I saw it. And so, that's what happened. And, it developed something.
Right.
And God bless, that's a part of the black history. Beautiful. And some of them that got the money need to invest in what we're doing in the jazz category. You got money. You understand?
That's
It's
right.
about showing the heritage on the different side. If you want to combine, there's a way to do that. and make it jazzy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then the thing is, they got a basketball team called the Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
So wait a minute, you ain't got no problem with the name, you backing it up with the money. So what is it? What is it? What it really is? We need to get to the root of what it is, so we can have more situation. I'm blessed to have, you know, Robin Bell in my life, or the Jazzmobile. That, you know what I'm saying? That people that are still pushing, you know. And that's all I got to say on that.
If the people here want to come hear you, how can they find out where Danny Mixon's playing?
Yeah, well, I have a website, DannyMixon.com. Oh no, Danny Mixon Sounds, SOUNDS.com. Danny Mixon Sounds, SOUNDS.com. You go to my website, and it'd be places where I would be listed at.
And that's Mixon.
Yeah, please. You know how many times I was in Europe with Pharoah Sanders. They usually don't put sideman's name up on there. They just put the star. I get to the concert place, and I see the list of all, you know, with Pharoah Sanders, and here my name, Danny Mixon. Oh, God. Oh, man, that was a hurtful situation. That was, you know, but anyway, I always, even when I have to go on appointments, you know, my name is Daniel. Now, this is my name. Daniel Asbury. I don't own the park. Daniel Asbury Mixon. I say M as in man. Period. I went in the other day for an appointment, and I said the same, Daniel Asbury Mixon, M as in man. Here's a young person. You mean money. Can you imagine a young person? You mean money. No, I said man. That's what I meant.
Let's thank Daniel Asbury Mixon. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.